1. The Haunting of Hollow Creek. In the heart of the woods lies a small, secluded town called Hollow Creek. Legend has it that a malevolent spirit roams the darkened forest at night, preying on lost souls. One fateful night, a group of adventurous teenagers decided to challenge their fears and venture into the depths of Hollow Creek to uncover the truth. As they delved deeper into the forest, the darkness closed in around them, and an eerie mist descended from the trees. They soon realized they were hopelessly lost, their GPS and phone signals mysteriously failing. Panic set in as the group heard unsettling whispers from the shadows, whispering their names with an otherworldly echo. One by one, the teens disappeared, leaving only faint screams and unsettling laughter in their wake. The remaining few stumbled upon a worn-down cabin, seemingly abandoned for years. Inside, they found eerie drawings and cryptic messages, detailing the horrors of the spirit that haunted these woods. Desperation gripped them as they realized they were trapped in the spirit's domain. In a final attempt to escape, they followed the cryptic message's directions to perform an ancient ritual to appease the malevolent entity. The woods came alive with a sinister presence, and their surroundings twisted into nightmarish shapes. As they completed the ritual, the spirit appeared before them in all its terrifying glory. The entity toyed with them, feeding off their terror before finally releasing them from its grasp, only after leaving an indelible mark on their souls. The survivors fled back to the town, scared and traumatized, vowing to never speak of that night again. But Hollow Creek had claimed its victims, and the spirit would continue its malevolent reign, luring unsuspecting wanderers into its dark embrace. 2. The Phantom Station. In a desolate stretch of the countryside, an abandoned train station stands as a relic of forgotten times. Legend whispers about a night train that appears without warning, departing from the station and carrying lost souls to an unknown destination. Late one stormy night, a group of thrill-seekers, curious about the legend, ventured to the deserted station. The wind howled as rain poured down, the darkness intensified by the flickering lights of the station. As they explored the decrepit platform, they heard the distant whistle of a train. In disbelief, they watched as an ancient locomotive emerged from the mist. The train came to a screeching halt, and its doors opened invitingly. They hesitated, but their curiosity got the better of them, and they boarded the eerie night train. Inside, they found an unsettling scene. Tattered seats, dim lanterns, and an overpowering smell of decay. As the train departed, they realized there were no windows to the outside, only distorted reflections of themselves in the glass. Each time the train stopped, shadowy figures would enter and depart, their faces twisted with torment and despair. Panic surged through the group as they attempted to escape, but the train seemed to have a sinister will of its own. As the night wore on, they began to lose all sense of time, and their sanity wavered. One by one, they were beckoned to an unknown fate by the ghostly figures that wandered the train's carriages. The last survivor, consumed by terror, managed to unlock a hidden compartment, discovering a dusty journal left behind by a previous passenger. The entries recounted the horrifying stories of those who had boarded the phantom train before, all meeting a tragic end. With newfound determination, the survivor learned of a ritual to break the curse. At the stroke of midnight, during a stop at a desolate station, they performed the ritual, uttering ancient words to release the souls trapped within the train. The train shook violently, and the darkness seemed to engulf everything. The survivor awoke the next morning, lying on the abandoned platform. The night train was gone, and so were the lost souls it had taken. To this day, the station remains empty, a grim reminder of the horrors that lurk when one ventures into the unknown. 3. The Wailing Forest. Deep within a dense forest lies a cursed place known as the Wailing Forest. This haunted realm is said to be filled with anguished spirits, seeking revenge on those who dare to venture into their domain. A group of hikers, drawn to the forest by its chilling folklore, decided to explore it under the full moon's eerie light. As they trekked through the dense foliage, they noticed an unsettling stillness in the air. The leaves seemed to whisper warnings, but the allure of the unknown kept them moving forward. As night fell, the forest transformed into a living nightmare. Unearthly cries echoed through the trees, sending shivers down their spines. The hikers pressed on, trying to find their way back, but each path they took only led them deeper into the heart of the forest. With each step, the wails intensified, growing louder and more menacing. Strange figures moved among the trees, watching them with hollow eyes. The group's fear reached a breaking point when they stumbled upon a forgotten graveyard, overgrown with thorns and sorrow. The spirits of the dead seemed to rise from their resting places, their pale forms floating ominously in the night air. The hikers were paralyzed with terror as the apparitions surrounded them, reaching out with ethereal hands. Desperate to escape, they ran aimlessly, their lungs burning and their hearts pounding. But the forest seemed to twist and shift, disorienting them and leading them in circles. It was as if the very trees themselves conspired to keep them trapped. In the midst of their frantic flight, the hikers stumbled upon an ancient stone altar, the epicenter of the forest's curse. Realizing they needed to break the curse to escape, they gathered their remaining strength and chanted a forbidden incantation they found etched on the altar. The earth shook violently, and a blood-curdling scream reverberated through the forest. The apparitions vanished, and the forest fell silent once more. The hikers, exhausted and shaken, found their way back to the edge of the wailing forest. They never spoke of that night again, haunted by the memory of the tormented spirits and the malevolent forces that lurked within the darkness. From that day on, the wailing forest remained undisturbed, a warning to all who contemplated exploring its haunted depths. 4. The Abandoned Asylum. In a remote corner of the city stands an old, abandoned asylum with a dark history. Decades ago, the facility was notorious for its inhumane treatment of patients, leading to numerous unexplained deaths and rumors of sinister experiments. A group of curious urban explorers decided to venture into the decaying asylum one moonlit night. Armed with flashlights and cameras, they entered the crumbling building, unaware of the malevolent presence that still lurked within its walls. As they explored the asylum's eerie corridors, they heard faint whispers that seemed to echo from the shadows. The air grew colder, and an overwhelming sense of dread washed over them. Disembodied voices and chilling laughter followed their every step, causing panic and paranoia to consume the group. One by one, they became separated, drawn to different parts of the asylum by an unknown force. Each member experienced terrifying visions and flashbacks of the asylum's gruesome past. Some saw tormented spirits wandering the halls, while others were subjected to horrifying apparitions of the asylum's cruel staff. As the night wore on, they struggled to find each other, but the asylum seemed to change its layout, trapping them in a nightmarish maze. Their sanity waned, and fear took control, leading them to turn against one another in desperation. In a final attempt to escape, they reunited and stumbled upon an old locked room rumored to be the heart of the asylum's malevolence. Inside, they discovered an ancient journal that detailed the dark rituals performed by the deranged staff to harness malevolent energy. Fueled by terror and determination, they attempted to undo the curse, unaware that their meddling would awaken the spirits that had been trapped within the asylum's walls for so long. The room filled with a haunting silence before the spirits manifested, seeking vengeance on those who dared disturb their eternal slumber. The asylum became a nightmarish battleground as the spirits unleashed their wrath upon the explorers. In a harrowing struggle for survival, they fought against forces beyond comprehension. Some managed to flee the asylum, forever scared by the horrors they had witnessed, while others were claimed by the malevolent entities that refused to be imprisoned any longer. From that night on, the abandoned asylum became a place feared and avoided by all, a dark reminder of the evils that once dwelled within its decaying walls. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the Dark Tales Unleashed channel for more such content.